Welcome to Deep Dive Daily.
Good morning, Andy. It is the officially World Series season. Good morning to our friends in Canada. You were represented in the World Series. Here's the Blue Jays punched their ticket with a pretty incredible comeback last night against the Mariners. The other Seattle team fared a little bit better. They took care of business in the late one. Andy stayed up late to watch that one, so he is sharp as a tack this morning. NBA starts today. I'm excited. Cannot wait.
Took it up a notch from coffee. We went to Red Bull.
Cannot wait for the tip-off tonight. I have convinced myself all the way from the Rockets plus 7.5 is a great bet. The market doesn't know what it's doing to that. The Rockets are just going to win. I've talked myself into a Rockets win tonight.
Rockets.
So fired up for
who needs a point guard
season tip
when you have
they have Amen Thompson. He's incredible.
Well, when you have a 6'9" shooting guard.
Incredible. He doesn't shoot, Andy.
No.
Come on. He handles the ball very well, though. The fact that the Rockets are starting 5 guys, 4 of whom are tickling 7 feet, is going to be very fun. And as good as the Thunder defense is, in my opinion, they're rostered to stop good guard kind of, like a strong guard play. And I don't know that they have the size to match up with the Rockets.
Hell of a question here. Do we think the dildo shenanigans that were happening in the women's league carry over into the NBA season? The world waits, and we will find out tonight. But as much as I'd love talking NBA, we should probably delve a little into NFL. Not a lot to say about last night other than it was finally time to come to earth a little bit for Tampa Bay. I mean, some of it just being Mike Evans, every time he tried to catch a ball, he was either a really good shove out of bounds. They took the penalty instead one time. And then one time he literally broke himself apart. And the attrition of losing so many good wide receivers, having an injured Ibuka, having an injured Bucky, did catch up against a defense that I was surprised how well they played, missing the secondary pieces, and Brian Branch. People forget out for the suspension. Like, they played really well. That was what we talked about Wednesday was the weakness on weakness based on cluster injuries. What's more important, missing all your wide receivers or missing all your secondary pieces? Goff was fine. The Lions did just enough, especially on the ground, and got a nice win, got a nice cover. And obviously the injury to Mike Evans stinks. That is a broken clavicle. And he was probably concussed too. He looked pretty bad there. Hassan Reddick also left the game in the second half with a knee or ankle or possibly both kind of injuries. The injury in the second game, of course, was the Nico Collins concussion. We'll see what that looks like. The team looked pretty bad on offense for a big chunk of the game, and that's what you're going to get when you go up against a good defense who has a lot of different looks, a lot of different ways to put pressure on you from all different angles, all 3 levels, and you have 5 bags of trash starting at offensive line.
Yeah. Devin Witherspoon didn't even play. Didn't matter.
Yeah. One of the guys, it was a great point. One of the guys that you use constantly up in the box, on blitzes or implied pressure. I'm going to start calling it implied pressure. I like that better. But I mean, some of the pieces you
simulated.
Really
you don't like simulated?
Yeah. No, I like implied. Like it was implied.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a tough day for Stroud for the most part. He was constantly under duress.
He was.
There should have been 4 safeties in that game. Instead, we got none.
There was a touchdown.
I know, but if he holds onto the ball, that's a safety.
Oh, yeah.
The first one, clearly a safety. The stupid safety that came off with a penalty.
We were robbed of history.
4. We were robbed of 4. And then Darnold just barely got out of the end zone on another one. Both teams should have had 2 safeties. The parlay on that wasn't something you could probably even find. Yeah, infinity.
Yeah, throw Cooper Kupp to throw an interception in that parlay, and then you got yourself a steal. All right.
Anything else on last night?
The steam on the market support for Linos was correct. The market support for the over was wrong. That got bet aggressively up and had no chance in the first game. I guess maybe glib because the game state just didn't support points, especially once the Lions left a bunch on the field in the first half. But
they're not. The Lions should have scored more.
Yeah, it still wasn't going to get to 54. And mostly just because the Lions defense, the cluster injury to the secondary and the absence of Branch didn't matter, which is very weird.
Baker was off, so it wasn't just missing some wide receivers. He was off. He was throwing high. He had a couple miscommunications. It wasn't his best day.
He looked like he had an extra Red Bull or a cup of coffee to get himself going. Well, maybe that's why you're so tired. So you had coffee yesterday. You threw your whole balance out of whack.
I'm going to bed at I'm going to take like a nooner nap. So okay, real quick, I'll rip through some.
Market support for the Seahawks was also correct.
It came back a little. I really thought that was going to push up to a solid 3.5, maybe even 4, but
number grab.
Okay, I mentioned Evans, Reddick, Nico. Brandon Graham did come out of retirement yesterday after we did the podcast. He is on the Eagles, so that's something. Dalton confirmed starting in place of Bryce Young. High ankle sprain, multiple weeks for him. Purdy sounding a little unlikely, but that is according to Kyle Shanahan, who is a lying liar, so we will see. Drake Greenlaw, I'm going to pause for this one. Did you see the video? Did Drake Greenlaw suspend one game? My quick takeaway was it didn't look that bad, which means
he must have said something.
Exactly had to have said something, or I'm just picturing Father, whatever his name is, in semi-pro, where he's like, "Suck my dick, I'll kill your whole fucking family." He's like, "You're out of here, Jackie. You're out." He's like, "What did I do?"
What did I say?
S my D. You said S my D, and then they get maybe mom's not in heaven, Jackie. He just takes the team off the court. I have to imagine he said something pretty terrible because it didn't look that bad. So I'm guessing he said, "I am going to, nail your door shut and burn your house down with you and your family and your pets inside." Or something. I'm just speculating. We don't know. He has suspended one game. I don't know if he'll appeal. Vikings have both quarterbacks limited, so that'll be interesting. We will assume on a short week it's wins. Still no Brian O'Neill for them on the offensive line. Speaking offensive line, Brendel, your center for the Niners, multiple weeks with a hammy. Same thing for Bryce Huff as they lose another defensive piece out there in the Bay Area. Another center, Cooper Beebe, his 21-day window is open for the Dallas Cowboys. That'll be exciting, although that's similar to the Lions last night. They don't need it. They are just, hey, we have a cluster injury and we don't give a shit because we're all vibes right now.
All vibes.
Michael Penix has a bone bruise. He has some limitations, according to his coach. Doesn't seem like he's going to miss time. But Divine Diablo will, their linebacker for the Falcons, is week to week. The Jaden Daniels thing, who knows? He had an MRI, said it was good news, but it's still a hamstring injury. It's still up in the air. Does have an extra day. Maybe he calls his own number here and plays. That'll be interesting. For the Saints, actually sticking there, Dorrance Armstrong, bad knee injury, pass rusher. He's probably missing a decent amount of time with that one. Other bad knee injury, Kendre Miller, ACL for the Saints, running back out for the year. Eric McCoy on their line, also out for the year with a torn up bicep. RIP Darren Waller. Not surgical, not needed surgery, but it is a bad bicep injury, pec injury, excuse me. He's going to miss some time. And then not for this week, but something to put in your pocket. Bowers and Myers probably returning after the bye for the Raiders, which matters.
Okay, cool. Small card this week. I guess the couple of comments on the injury rundown you just ripped through. Weird conflicting signals about Penix.
Yeah.
Not consistency across usually the information space. It doesn't matter who you follow. It's just cut copy of the same stuff from the same agents. But this was a little bit of a little infighting in the way it was worded about Penix's injury, which is always a little Divine Diablo I also think matters, and that one's being a little undercovered. The Bryce Huff injury, I think, matters for San Francisco.
Stinks. They're trying to backfill already.
Yeah, who's fucking left? Diamador Lenore and
although we got to give him,
guys.
as we mentioned, like
Amazing.
Good job by Salah having
I don't know
God
how
knows
they're
what's
doing
his
this.
name was.
How are they
the
doing
linebacker
this?
that stepped in and just looked like Warner Light. So
fucking how are they doing this? I do not understand it. All right. My guess and my gut is Jaden Daniels plays. My guess and my gut is Lamar Jackson plays. Whether either guy is warranting their preseason prior is a different question entirely, which we will get into now.
Yeah, real quick, line moves, huh?
Yeah.
The TNF total. Chargers Vikes moving up.
God,
now
it's a tiny card.
Tickling 45, and it was down to 2.5. We're back to 3s for the Chargers. So Chargers in the over, taking some money on the short week.
Disagree with the over.
I don't understand the process there. I think the Vikings defense is still pretty good, and the Chargers still down. We don't know. Maybe Alt ends up playing. I don't know that he's 100% and ready to go though. That's a tough hang on a short week. Good coaches, but man, yeah, I don't quite understand why this is getting up this high either.
Oh, the Wentz tape. I rewatched Minnesota Philly because I didn't give shit about Minnesota Philly on Sunday, and I needed to kind of catch up. Wentz was fucking terrible. My goodness gracious, he missed so many fucking absolute bunnies. Kevin O'Connell pulling his poor hair out after the game. I gotta imagine. For what it's worth, my grade on Wentz right now, he is a 2.3 out of 10.
He's not good.
All right.
Cincinnati steam. We're up to 6.5 off that 5.5 hosting. The New York Jets. Again, the Jets are bad, but Cincy is not good.
This is almost certainly Tyrod Taylor, right?
Yes, I do believe it is going to be Tyrod Taylor. I don't think there's a big difference between the two.
Tyrod Taylor, yes. Garrett Wilson, no. Is that where your number is for the Jets right now?
Yeah, yes. 100%.
I can't believe this fucking matters, and we have to actually handicap and bet this game. Stupid fucking bye weeks, man. Carry on.
There's a lot of bye weeks, so yeah. And Sauce Gardner as well in concussion protocol. We'll see if he plays this one. San Francisco, Houston. After last night's game, was Houston minus 1.5. 43.5 at home. That reopens a pick, 41.5 lower total. And obviously a little despite more injuries for San Francisco, it moves towards them. The Nico Collins thing obviously is pretty big. If he remains in the concussion protocol and misses this game, you saw what happened when they were down all their receivers. It was a very tough hang.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
The Ravens coming off the 7. That's down to the 6.5, pretty much across the board, amid some uncertainty. I believe he plays. I don't think this move is saying like it's 50-50 because
no, the move is just
sitting at a 2.
The move is just testing what the fare for the Ravens is, which is 7 was too many points.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, despite the massive upgrade that team took. The Atlanta Miami total is dropping. That's down to 44.5.
Okay.
I guess I think actually, Atlanta's offense, despite it all, is pretty good. I don't know that Penix is all that good, but man, Miami's not a tough test. This is at home.
Yeah.
I think this is more of an indictment on the Miami offense versus a pretty good defense, even with Diablo out. Buffalo's taking money. They're up to 7.5, and the classic favorites getting bet, but the total's dropping down because we think so little of the dog, who is a home dog, down to 46 off a reopen of 47.5 this week. Andy Dalton confirmed, as I mentioned. So Buffalo is the worst kind of teaser, the road favorite.
At least it's out of division.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. That was Tampa Bay minus 5.5, 48.5 on the road. Reopens minus 4.5, 47.5, and that total is dropping already. It dropped to 47, possibly even more. I did these notes like an hour ago. So I guess New Orleans had some injuries too, like I mentioned. So I'm not so sure Tampa should be you should be going against Tampa here. Rattlers kind of coming back to earth, and they've had multiple meaningful injuries. So I'm gonna have to do some soul searching here. The bounce back spot in a divisional game, though. Two teams that hate each other. Something's got to give.
Short week for Tampa too doesn't help.
Yeah.
Second week in a row on the road also.
Yeah. Some Denver love in the market, taking on the Dallas Cowboys at home. That is up to 3.5 some joints. The total is going up as well, which makes a ton of sense for
only
how
50-point
played.
total on the board. Oh no, Bears Ravens is 50. Sorry.
Although I will say having a 50-point total with a defense this good is interesting.
Yes, and a quarterback this bad in Bo Nix.
Yeah. I would, as much as I've gone to the well with Dallas and Dallas offense lately, I can't quite jive with 50 here.
You sure?
I'm probably not at.
Wow.
I don't have my totals completely done. I'm probably not at a spot where I'm like, this is 47. What the fuck are we doing?
3.5 though. I mean, Brandon Aubrey is going to break the record this week, right?
Yeah, I'm probably at like a 48.5, 49.
Like the Cowboys, I feel like have to get to the 50-yard line to get points.
Oh, that's fun. Like if you're losing late, I think that should be the goal. Is like, hey, we're down by 21, but we're at altitude. We got this kicker. Should we try a 72-yarder? That's fun. This is you guys who made those season-long bets. This is your week.
This is your week.
Sunday night football, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. Not much going on there. But Monday night, obviously a big difference. This look ahead was Kansas City -5.5 at home, taking on Washington. Reopens a 5-point difference. This is 10.5 now. The total was 51 last week, reopened 48.5. I think there's an injury in this one that's driving that. Although you think he's starting, if Jaden Daniels is at 80%, why, Drew, are you not putting your money where your mouth is, logging on to your bookmaker and betting Washington plus 10.5 on the road? Because that's incorrect if he's playing. That's absolutely incorrect if he's playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big question is just what kind of quality are you getting out of him? You know, like the 80% is a guess.
Yeah, what's your guess on?
I think
what if it's hamstrings, and that's the thing. If he's one-dimensional, if he's not able to scramble and run, that might be worse than putting Mariota out there.
It takes away the biggest advantage you have in the game, which is your rushing attack against this Kansas City rush defense.
Yeah, I know it sucks.
It impacts it. I think he plays. I think this closes inside 7. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Probably wrong.
Did you guys hear the stuff Tua was saying?
I didn't. What did he say?
Was it more? Was it more than when last week? I'm gonna have to go find those clips.
Is he talking intelligibly, or is the concussion shadow so serious now that that's affecting his ability to communicate as well as his ability to play quarterback?
He's never been great with the media over the course of his career. It feels like he's had a few of these. Remember when that one guy called him fat? He made a big deal out of it.
Oh, I do remember.
He was kind of thick.
He was. And that was by design, I thought. Anyway, let's talk about changes in ratings. I got a boogie at 7:30 here.
Okay.
Not a lot of big changes today. My biggest downgrade is to the Los Angeles Chargers. This Chargers defense got absolutely gobbled on the ground, and their pass rush has fallen off of a cliff since the last time I really looked hard at these numbers. This Chargers, both units are sliding right now for me for the Chargers. Some of it is injury related on the offensive side, but I don't understand why their run defense has been so poor lately. They're the biggest downgrade for me.
About a neutral team?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit under. I'm
about a half point above. I'll have to revisit that. Although I think I started a little lower than
-0.05 for me for the Chargers right now. Biggest upgrade for me is the Ram Thorns. I don't even know how. I had aggressively downgraded their skill group because of the absence of Tua. The absence of Puka, and they kind of are fine because they pivoted to the 13 personnel and they completely caught everybody by surprise. And I know the Rams are on bye, so this is irrelevant. But if Puka misses more time, that that 13 personnel package that they've been rolling out is nasty.
Well, let's just every tight end that you get a touchdown. You get a
nasty.
touchdown. I already had them as a +4. I didn't do much with them. I think that's
Yeah.
fine. That's a fine rating on them.
Okay.
Some of my, you know what? And I caught some shit about this for a tweet, but I had to upgrade the Patriots. I was a little reticent, a little hesitant because of some of the stuff I was seeing, and it wasn't complete.
What's
But
your
if I
Pats
don't,
number?
if I don't upgrade the Pats now, when am I going to? Because of their schedule. Like, what am I like? Oh man, they beat the tar out of another bad team. They just keep going up. Because going into the week, my Pats number was like a +1.
Okay.
That's too low. Like I
Is
needed
it?
to just get a little closer to the market because it has been some pretty decent quarterback play, and that matters. That said, we're not going to learn shit about this team for the next 6 weeks. So
My
that number's
quarterback,
probably not gonna move a lot.
quarterback number for the Patriots is as high as I can possibly stomach it, but there's still some huge weaknesses. Their skill group sucks. Their rushing attack is garbage. Their coverage has not been great. I know that that's also
Yeah,
a lot
their
of the
coverage is
sample
like a
doesn't have
3.
Christian Gonzalez on the field, but
It's
the
still
offensive
like a
line
3
is
out of
still
10.
bad. I don't think the Patriots are worth much more than a +1, but it doesn't really fucking matter because they just keep playing good dog shit teams. Chicago gets an upgrade for me, even though my defensive numbers, I strip out all turnovers. Doesn't matter. Their defense is still playing a lot better than it was early in the season when they were just incredibly hurt and incredibly gettable.
Chicago's number surprised me too. I have them like a 1.4, which is mid, a little above mid, but I didn't think they'd be that high at this point in the season.
You have Chicago as a plus?
I have them as a plus.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
I that's what I'm saying. I'm very
So
surprised.
your
how
Baltimore
Chicago
number is
fucked.
not anywhere near -6.5.
I have Chicago as a playoff team. I have them as like my 14th best team right now.
I have Chicago getting 8.7 wins in the season. They're like 20 for me.
Yeah, I'm good offensive line play, decent coverage, pretty good pass rush. Like I have them a pretty good defense, and the offense has been very serviceable. So I don't know, they just keep, and I think some of it has just been coaching, getting the most out of what they have.
Other upgrades for me besides Chicago, Philly got an upgrade for me because I was so down on Hurts that just taking a little bit of letting him come up for air and getting him back into like the 50th percentile range was enough to bring their whole team number up to 1.66 for me. So Philly is kind of on the rise. We'll see if the Hurts thing sticks around. And I again, in the rewatch, I gave that the most critical rewatch, and it still felt like the scheme for Philadelphia was fucking terrible.
It's the opposite. So I have Philly and Chicago pretty close, which feels sacrosanct, man. It's
yeah.
But one of them is getting buoyed by their coaching. One of them is getting held back, I believe, by Patullo.
Okay. What is your Niners number with expectations going into this week? Purdy, maybe?
I do not have Purdy in, although
doesn't matter.
Similar 0.89. I have them slightly above average.
I'm 0.05 for the Niners, so maybe I'm on the low side. What's your number for Baltimore?
Right now, I'm like 70% Lamar plays. I need more updates on the defense, but kind of in that same range, like a 2.
Okay.
2 to the good. This is going to be one where very touch and go all week to see where I need to end up with this. Need to get the defensive injuries figured out as well.
Man, dude. What is your Seattle number?
+9. It is. This is my Super Bowl team.
+9.
Yes, they're. It is this. So they're not playing. I actually have to go to the other sheet because they aren't in my sheet because they don't play this week. Seattle is my 7th best team in the NFL right now. The NFC West, if the Niners just keep playing this well, the NFC West is going to bang. Basically tied with the Rams. I have the Rams at a 4.01. I have Seattle at a 3.88. 6th and 7th best teams in the league. That'll be a fun one down the stretch.
We're pretty
Because,
close
like
on
you said,
both those.
the Niners are behind these teams clearly, but they are going to get healthier, and they beat them both. You have the tiebreakers already. So fun division. Where are you at for Rams Seahawks?
My Rams, basically the same. 4 for the Rams, 3.51 for the Seahawks. But the Seahawks have room to go up if they can get their freaking offensive line and running game going a little bit better.
Yeah, they have they're still figuring it out offensively, I believe.
I have that as the second and third best defenses. Seahawks number 2, Rams number 3. Denver's number 1 for me, but mostly just because their pass rush number is so stupidly, absurdly high.
All right. And because you got to run real quick, my top 5: Kansas City, number 1, Green Bay, number 2, Detroit, number 3, Buffalo, number 4,
Okay.
Indianapolis, number 5, and then that is followed by the Rams Seattle chunk.
That's good. That's pretty damn close for me. Yeah. I would flip-flop. I mean, shoot, dude.
All those numbers are close.
Colts, Rams, and Seahawks are so close, and that's not even that far off of Buffalo, Detroit, Green Bay is so close. Like, just you have Kansas City cluster, and any of those. These we could shuffle them every week.
Well, and then you have another cluster of like Dallas, Denver, Tampa, New England, Baltimore, Philly, San Francisco, Chargers. Although Chargers probably fall out of that cluster. My bottom 5 from the bottom: Tennessee, clearly, the Jets, Miami, Cincinnati, New Orleans. Cleveland has dug its way out of my bottom 5, as have the Giants and Cardinals.
Cincinnati is out of my bottom 5 because of the Flacco performance.
I did move them up. I did move them up a little.
All right, man.
And then, yes, a little bit of controversy. We will see where my Twitter poll ends up. I don't know. I don't want to put my thumb on the scale and say one way or the other. But when I looked for recipes on what was it? Sausage tortellini soup. There was a strong 50-50 split online between red tomato-based ones and cream-based broths. Please vote if you get a chance. It is your God-given and American right to exercise your vote.
I can't believe there's a debate here.
I would have gone I am going to put my thumb on the scale. I would have gone red, 100%
tomato,
red.
No question.
Yes. But there is a ton of cream-based recipes, and they look good, and it feels a little bit like a zuppa toscana or the sausage. I think some of those do kale instead of spinach. I'm probably going to do tomato, but I will abide by the.
If you do a kale and spinach and a kale and sausage and tortellini, you got to make a very light creamy broth, like almost more white wine than cream.
That's where I think I'm going to go tomato and stick with spinach.
All right. Okay. I dig that.
We will wait. We will wait for the
tomato
poll.
all day.
Stop the steal.
William Middleton 5933 missed the NBA discussion out the top. It is the Houston Rockets. I think they are live to pull off the upset tonight in Oklahoma City and ruin the banner night. All right, man. Good show. Thanks for all the work on the injuries in the market. And I will see you tomorrow where we preview the 13 games this week. No international game, no Monday Night Football doubleheader. Just
kind
an
of a nice
old-fashioned week of not very much.
Good old-fashioned football.